If you believe you have any information pertaining to this case, you are urged to contact the Hattiesburg Police Department on 601-544-7900. You can also email them at mnobles@hattiesburgms.com. On either the 1st of December, according to the Doe Network, or the 12th of December, according to NamUs, 1998, a man was struck by a drunk driver whilst hitchhiking on the I-59 in Hattiesburg, Forrest County, Mississippi. The driver fled the scene but was later located and apprehended by the authorities. Prior to losing consciousness, the severely injured victim told paramedics that his name was Steve Hicks, or Steve Hicks, and he was from West Virginia. The victim was transported to and treated at a nearby hospital. After stabilization, he was sent to an assisted living facility where he lived in a persistent vegetative state. He, unfortunately, passed away from complications of the hit-and-run accident on the 1st of May 2002. Almost 20 years have passed since then, and this decedent remains unidentified. He was of Caucasian descent and most likely between 22 and 28 years old at the time of his death. He stood between 5 feet 9 inches and 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed between 170 and 175 pounds. He had long red or auburn hair, hazel or blue eyes, a mustache and beard, freckles, and type B negative blood. It should be noted that B negative is an incredibly rare blood type. I have been unable to locate a description of his clothing and personal effects. The information on this case is quite scant. A web sleuth user by the name of Debbie claimed to have spoken to a police officer working on the Steve Hicks case, who told her that he had been identified as one Michael Curry prior to or in 2007. However, an admin of the Mississippi Missing and Unidentified Facebook page claimed to have also spoken to a member of the police working on this case, who apparently confirmed that the man was still unidentified as of September 2016. As of May 2020, the man using the name Steve Hicks is still listed on NamUs and the Doe Network as an unidentified individual. If Debbie's interaction with that police officer occurred, perhaps the police officer was simply mistaken and confused this case for another. Or perhaps the decedent was misidentified. I've been unable to locate any news articles announcing this supposed identification. His NamUs page was created in 2009, at least 2 years after Debbie was supposedly informed of his identification. I fail to understand why he would have been entered into NamUs by law enforcement as a still unidentified individual, years after an identification had supposedly been made. NamUs notes that his profile was reviewed by the medical examiner or coroner on his case in 2011. Also, his page was last edited in June 2019. If an identification had been made, I'm sure that his NamUs page would have long since been taken down, as is customary when nameless decedents are identified. Needless to say, searching missing persons reports for one Steve or Stephen Hicks or Hex resulted in absolutely nothing. If Steve Hicks was his name, he likely wasn't reported missing. Or perhaps those who knew him tried to report him missing, though the police wouldn't take the report as he was an adult who had the right to seemingly disappear. I'm only theorizing here. There are 2 unincorporated communities by the name of Hicks in West Virginia, one in Summers County and the other in McDowell County. Is it possible that the paramedics misheard or misinterpreted and the victim was trying to say that he was Steve from Hicks, West Virginia? Again, I want to stress that this is an unconfirmed theory, not a fact. I'm afraid that speculation is all we have to go on, as this man is, in many ways, a mystery. Thank you to William for suggesting that I cover this case. It's a really odd one, what with the conflicting reports on whether or not he's actually been identified. Again, if you believe you have any information which may aid in the identification of this decedent, you are urged to contact Hattiesburg Police Department by telephone at 601-544-7900 or by email at mnobles@hattiesburgms.com. Thank you very much for giving Steve Hicks's case a moment of your day.